Good morning, Inner Beauty Land. How's everything going? I just want to welcome you to our show. This is the show where each week we help you discover and embrace the beauty in your journey. I'm your host, Carla Prayer, and today we will be talking about joy and the positive effect with Miss Olivia DeMoss. Olivia is a stress mastery expert, a joy catalyst expert, a catalyst, a certified transformational life coach, a certified values facilitator, a certified therapeutic laughter practitioner, a Psych facilitator, a speaker, a peace ambassador, and a radical forgiveness coach. Woo, that right there is deep. An award-winning glass artist and award-winning and Toic Night Times best-selling author. So, Olivia, she guides her audience to the awareness that a major source of discontentment comes from compromising our own truth. How many of us do that? Guilty. She teaches how to live from the inside out and understand what truly makes you happy. She helps you find the courage to be authentic. And in doing so, you discover the stupendous inner joy and freedom to live the life that only you dreamed of. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. Life has brought Olivia in contact with a variety of cultures, experiences, and challenges on different continents. And though she was born in Paris, France, she is a citizen of the world. Help me welcome my friend, Miss Olivia DeMoss. Hey, Olivia.
Hello, Carla. Hello, everyone. Such a pleasure to be with you today.
Yes. It's a pleasure. I'm just so excited. I mean, all these things that you're doing that this world needs now. I mean, it's so much chaos going on, and a lot of times, like you said, if work on the inner self, and it will permeate out. I love. So, can you tell me more about Miss Olivia and how she came upon this joy expert?
Well, I'll give you the short version.
Okay.
I must say that I was not always a representation of joy.
Mm.
I'm now living in Arizona. I've been here since 2000. But before that, I was living in Central Western Africa, and I was living with one of the wealthiest men there. So, by all standards, I had everything to be happy, right? He was good looking, he was intelligent, he was successful. He didn't care how much money I spent.
Ah.
So,
Mhm.
really, I had everything to be happy, and yet I was not fulfilled.
Mm.
And so, one day, I mean, I'm trying to think how to make it short because I was there for 12 years,
Uh-huh.
But I I got migraines that would last for 12 days in a row.
Oh my.
And oh gosh, that was awful. And then would stop for a day or two and then start again. So it was a chronic migraine.
Oh my goodness.
And I sank into depression. And then one day, actually, I was laying down with a migraine, and he came to me, and this man really was not very compassionate at all, in fact. But that day he came to me and he said, "You're not happy." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I just have a headache." He said, "No, no, no, no. I fell in love with you because of your smile, but you have lost your smile." And then he left, and I thought, oh my goodness. I mean, that, actually hit me in the heart like a dagger because I had to realize that he was right. I had
Mm.
lost my smile and my zest for life.
Oh my.
And so what happened was a couple of days after that, I was in the bathroom, and then I turned around and I caught my eyes in the mirror. And actually, those eyes were staring me right in the eyes. It was quite intense. And then I heard a voice that said, "Well, sure, you're not really unhappy. but you're not fulfilled either. And 10 years from now, when you look at those eyes in the mirror and you hear that question, what have you done with the last 10 years? And if the answer is, like, what have you done with the last 10 years? Have you wasted them? And if the answer is yes, I won't be able to live with myself.
Right, right.
So that was really that was an aha moment. That was very, very powerful. And I realized on the spur of the moment that I had to leave. I had to leave this man, even though I was very much in love with him, but I had to leave this relationship. And so I told him that I was leaving, and this wealthy guy took me to the airport he said, well, okay, where do you want to go? I'll pay for your plane ticket for you and your pets, and that's all. And I said, that's fine, that's all I need. And so he took me to the airport with 2 suitcases, a dog, 2 cats, and I had about $35 in change, which a couple of years prior, we had come to the US for a vacation. And we had a little bit of change left in the safe, and I had the key to the safe. So I took that change. I said, that is mine now.
Right.
He said that he would never come back to the US. So I said, well, that's mine. So I came to the US with, again, a couple of suitcases, a dog, 2 cats, and about $35 in my pocket, and started my life over. So it really hasn't been easy, but I never regretted my decision. I got my smile back, and I understood the difference between happiness and joy. And that's what I teach now, because over there with this man, I had everything to be happy, but I didn't have the joy.
Right.
And do you want to know? Are you curious? You want to know what the difference is?
Yes. The happiness is joy. I would assume joy is internal and happiness is external. Is that?
You've got it right. And actually, lots of people have it the other way around, or they say there's no difference, it's the same thing. And we do say happiness most of the time, whether we mean joy or not. And lots of people, when they talk about joy, they think of the religious connotation of joy. Now, this is not it, but you've got it right. Happiness comes from the outside. Therefore, it's not sustainable because it doesn't depend on you. You can, like I had, the good-looking mate and the money and the vacations and the cars. I had everything to be happy, and I was happy to a certain extent. But all those things that bring you happiness can be taken away from you. I mean, think about it. Your mate can die, or you can divorce, or you can lose your house, you can lose your health. I mean, you can lose everything that does not depend on you. Whereas joy is an inside job. And when you know how to cultivate your joy, nobody can ever take it away from you, no matter what happens. You have it with you, no matter where you go, no matter what happens, and then you can tap into it on demand. And so that's what I teach.
That's beautiful. And it just really goes to show you that money can't buy you joy.
No. So we can almost say that money can bring you happiness, but not joy, right?
Right. Awesome. And I think this is just such a great tool to have and to teach. Now, is it a course that you teach it, like an ongoing course, or you give seminars? Tell us more for us to get into this.
I do all kinds of things. I started creating a course, an online course, and I never finished it, so I'm going to have to do that.
Okay.
But I teach live, and I am launching retreats. And what I want to do now, I want to work with corporations now, because we know that, everybody's got stress, right? But in corporations, the stress level is super high. There's a high demand on them, and corporations and entrepreneurs, business owners, there's a high demand. Lots of them are overworked, under supported, hyper frustrated, and so the stress level is really high. And so what I want to do is work with groups rather than one-on-one, And
Uh-huh.
when I talk about corporations, I want to take those people out of their office, away from their tech devices for just one day. I'm launching
Uh-huh.
1 day retreats, and
Okay.
then take them in nature. So
Uh-huh.
get them out of their office and out of their head and back into their body, their heart, and their senses, and into nature. Nature is transformative. Nature is very healing and very stress relieving.
Uh-huh.
So that's one of the things I'm working on. And then also with this message now of transforming stress and eventually, transforming it into joy. um, I'm on a global mission. so so I want to do more speaking.
Ah, okay. Awesome. Awesome. So can you give us an example of some of what you do? Like if I was to participate in your course or, can you give us an example of some of the exercises that you may do?
Okay, so let's do one of the ways to release stress is the ear curls. So that curl you've got there, you know, so gently massage it and uncurl it. So you start at the top of your ear and you gently massage it like if you were going to uncurl it.
Oh, uh-huh.
And you go all the way to the bottom, and then that fatty part there, you really massage it, pinch it, So you can do that several times.
Wow.
Feels good, kind of. You know
Good.
that the ear is a representation of all the organs, mostly inside the ear, but also when you massage the outside of the ear, that really releases your stress.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And then, of course, like everything you do, if you put a smile on your face, it's even more powerful.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Another thing you can do, let me think, I've got so
You
many
know what
too.
you say, it's interesting. I can remember I was going into the grocery store one day and I was having a horrible day. But there was a lady coming out of the grocery store. And it was just a quick trip for me. And I went in. And by the time I came out, this lady approached me again. She said, "Ma'am, I have to tell you, I was having the most horrible day. And your smile and you speaking to me just really made a difference." I was like, "Well, thank you for saying that to me because I'm having a pretty tough day myself." She was like, "Really?" And she was amazed. But the fact that I gave her that smile, she gave me that compliment back, it definitely lifted us both up. Just putting out makes a difference.
Absolutely. So not only did it lift you both up, you just don't know the ripple effects that your smile and her smile maybe had on the outside. Because
Right.
here's the thing, smiling is contagious and it has tremendous ripple effects. And your story reminds me of a story of my own because I often have a smile on my face for no particular reason, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so one day I was going to the grocery store and I was walking in with a smile on my face. And as I'm walking into the store, a gentleman comes out and he stops, he looks at me and he goes, "Wow." I go, "What?" And he goes, "That smile." And
Right.
so we both burst out laughing. And then he went to the parking lot and he was smiling. I went into the store and I was smiling. And I thought, okay, I made his day. He made my day even more wonderful. And who knows who else is impacted by our smile. That's
Right.
the wonderful thing. And smiling is, I mean, it's uplifting. It boosts your system with feel good hormones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it raises the vibration on the planet, and it's
Mm-hmm.
totally free.
Right. Right. Right.
you know, how does it get any better than that?
Right, right. And I have to ask, I just want to encourage my listeners to really think about, when you, as me as myself included, I can remember when I was feeling bad, or if I'm really intense, or someone has really upset me. How many times when you have said something like, "Oh, that was just so stupid," and then, but that doesn't make me feel good to say that about anything or anyone. So I notice when I'm stressed, I'll change the wording. I'll say, like my husband, marriage can be precious. And so I would say to him, "You're so precious." and I'll say it in a loving way. He knows he's getting on my nerves, but the fact I changed the word and the feeling in it, it made me feel better. And I just want to encourage my listeners to do the same.
Gosh, Carla, this is really powerful and this is great because you're not being negative, and I mean, it forces him to smile and to
Right.
love you, because how can you respond negatively to something like that? It's got to lift up both of you. This is a great thing. I mean, that's a great tip. Listeners, listen to that.
Yeah, it makes, and it's just funny now because a lot of my clients, they'll say something, girl, he's so precious, or so they use the word and they laughingly like, Carla, that really works to use a positive word instead of saying a negative word. And it really, and it's a ripple effect, like you said. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. And I'm just trying to find more and more ways of of keeping my vibrations lifted, or my energy level up. And a lot of times it's just something as simple like giving a compliment.
That is good stuff. So, do you know that just 10 minutes of stress can keep your brain on overload for hours? I mean, we don't think of that. Oh, well, I'm stressed. It's normal. I'm working harder. Yeah. 10 minutes of stress can keep your whole brain on overload for several hours and even for the rest of the day,
Oh my
and even
God.
carry on to the next day. Now, that becomes chronic stress. And most people don't realize we live in a state of chronic stress, which
Oh.
can lead to anxiety, depression, a compromised immune system, and of course, all kinds of other harmful effects. And so when you're stressed, actually, the chemical imbalance in your brain prevents you from having optimal functioning and from being objective in your reasoning. It is an inaccurate, now your brain is an inaccurate guide for taking action uh, and in having a successful business or a rewarding relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder sometimes, why is it that in a country like the US, in a country where we have everything to be happy, right?
Right, right.
Where we are supposed to do the pursuit of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Right.
what happens when you pursue something? Most of the time, it tries to escape you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe in the pursuit of happiness. I
Okay.
believe in living with joy. So why is it that in a country where we have everything to be happy, there are, I can't remember, I wrote down something like one person out of three reports being unhappy. One out of three. And it's raising. I mean, when you see the amount of anger and rage all around us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, so I would ask your listeners, where do you stand in that statistic? One out of three. Are you the one living in bliss, or are you one of the other two who are constantly unfulfilled? And in fact, I found a 2017, so it's a little bit, a couple of years old, but 2017 Gallup index. It said that Americans are more gloomy now than they were during the Great Recession.
Mm.
And for the first time, that index showed a decline in well-being nationally, and no state was out of this unease. All the states in the country, right?
Oh.
And so what is interesting to note is that during the Great Recession, of course, money and financial worries were at the top of mind for people, right, in those days. Whereas today, emotional and psychological factors dominate. People do have financial worries, and yet what dominates is that they're not content in their job and their relationships, and depression diagnosis, as we know, are
Mm.
at an all-time high in the US. Now, how sad is that? That's why joy, cultivating your joy, is so
Right.
important. And actually, I recently heard an Indian guru who was talking to an American audience, and he said with his accent, he said, uh, gosh, I'm going to try and remember the way he said it. It was funny. He said something like, um, when you feel a dis-ease, right, unease,
Mhm.
instead of going to bed or taking a medication, go play, go do something with joy. The trouble with you Americans is that you have become too bloody serious with your life.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Remember that you're going to die anyway, so loosen up. And I
Right.
thought, I mean, it's pretty blunt, but it is so true. And
Right.
so, actually helping you loosening up, helping you loosen up is what I'm an expert at. And that's why it's so much fun to be a joy catalyst. I help people laugh and smile and get back to playing like when they were children. For many, many
Mhm.
years, I forgot how to play.
Right. Right.
Um,
Oh my goodness. That is.
one tip that is great is pets. Pets can be extremely stress relieving, and it is, in fact, science recognizes that when you pet a dog or a cat or whatever, it actually releases feel good hormones in your body.
Yes. Yes. I don't have a cat. I have a dog, and I was one. I'm gonna tell you. I never want any animals in my home. That was just not my, no, don't have any animals. I was never, no, you can't, and definitely not on my furniture and this and the other. Well, my husband retired suddenly, and so, out of stress, and he was reliving a lot of stress. Got him an indoor dog, because before did have big, big dogs, and they were outdoor dogs. But this dog has come in and totally changed my whole perception and thoughts of animals. And I'm telling you, he brings so much love into this house, and he's just absorbed me up in. So those people I talked about with the dogs, yeah, I'm one of those people now.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing, and just watching my husband with them. I mean, and this dog was given to us. I'm just so thankful for this animal, and it makes a world of difference.
It does. It's great. And animals are just unconditional love. And look,
Right.
I'm going to try and move my laptop. I don't know if you can see right here. Can you see my little assistant here?
Oh, so cute. Just chilling out, like, hey,
She, she's
sunbathing.
she thinks that this part of the desk is a bed. As you can see, my assistant is working really hard.
Yeah, I see, I see. You're taking life too serious. That's what she's trying to tell you. So, listen, Olivia, something else I want to touch on. You're a certified therapeutic laughter practitioner. How do you go about that? Tell us more about that.
Oh boy. Are you ready for something really corny?
Okay.
Actually, I can't remember how that happened, but somebody told me about it, and my first reaction was that laughter laughter practitioner, that's corny. But I got curious, and so I took a class, and actually it is corny, but it is so much fun. And what it is you learn to laugh without hearing a joke. It's not about comedy. It's not about hearing a joke. It's not about watching funny cat movies and stuff. I mean, this
Uh-huh.
all is good stuff, right? But it's about laughing, learning to laugh, just to flood your body again with feel good hormones. It's very healing. And it actually, when you laugh, if you've got chronic pain, even when you have, I can't remember, I think it's like 15 or 20 minutes of laughter,
Uh-huh.
releases the pain enough so that you can sleep for a couple of hours without pain.
Wow.
So that's powerful for people who are sick, right? And so what it is, do you want to have a little laughter session right now? Are you ready?
Sure.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm warning you.
I'm game.
Here we go. So what we do is, what are the vowels for laughing? There are A, O, E, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go A, 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 O, O, E, E. You never go Z, Z, Y, Y, right?
Right.
So it's the
Okay.
vowels. And what you do is you expel them from the bottom of your belly, and you go ha ha ho, you know. But so that's the way to really do it when you have a real laughter session, like in a hospital or whatever. And by the way, speaking of that, there are hospitals where surgeons have a little laughter session with their team before they go to surgery. Like a 15-minute laughter session with the anesthetist and the nurses and everybody. Then they go into surgery. It's bonding for one thing, and then it makes them, I don't know, makes them more performing, you know.
Right.
So here we go. Ha 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 ha. And by the way, let go of all judgments. Listeners, let go of your critical mind. Otherwise it doesn't work, right? So allow your inner child to come out and put your critical mind to the side until later, right? So here we go. Oh my goodness. Okay. So that was just a couple of minutes.
Right. And just hearing, you know, when you hear people laugh, it makes you laugh. You know, just being around laughter is contagious. That is hilarious.
Carla, if somebody picks up your recording right now,
Right.
you're going to think this is totally crazy.
Well, you know, I have to say, a lot of my listeners do think I'm crazy, but you know, that's what makes Carla Carla.
Good. And that's what makes life fun, because actually what people forget is that life is a magical adventure that is meant to be enjoyed. And
Right.
truly, if your life isn't about the joy of it, something needs to change.
Right. Awesome.
I mean,
That's
you know,
good.
think about it. We're not here to stress and just, you know, there's the commute to work, there's the co-workers, there's all the overload of work and all of that, and we go home totally stressed and we forget to live.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we get to the end of our life and we're laying on our deathbed having regrets. And we usually don't regret that we didn't spend more time in the office. We usually regret all the laughter opportunities that came to us that we missed.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah, that's good. Well, Olivia, we have to meet again. I tell you, this is just so fascinating to me, and I'm sure my listeners will love it. Can you tell us, how can my listeners find you? What, you know, do you have any offers coming up? Any classes coming up? How can we find you?
Okay, so, well, the class is coming up. Like I said, my online course is not ready yet. And I do have classes in Arizona. So if your people are in Arizona, I'd love to meet them. And they can go to my website where they can, in any case, wherever they are in the world, they can download my complimentary guidebook. It is, let me see if I can show you the cover. It is 5 Secrets to Creating More Happiness and Joy. So they can download it for free. And my website is joy and abundance by design.com, because I want you to live your life with more joy, receive more abundance by your own design, not by default.
That's good. One more question before we go.
Sure, go ahead.
Can you tell us what has been the beauty in your journey?
Woo, golly, there's so much. And I love the word beauty because, for one thing, I learned to see and appreciate the beauty all around me, because there is so much beauty around us. We don't even, you know, when we're stressed, we don't see it. But when we stop training our eyes and our ears to see and listen and touch everything that's beautiful around us. I'm all about the five senses, right?
Right.
And so then our life transforms. I also am thrilled with my own transformation, from migraines and depression. Hey, baby, come and say hi. There we go.
Hello, little assistant.
She goes, I am camera shy. so yeah, I'm thrilled with my own transformation. I really like myself.
That's good.
Because I am in joy, and you know what? I'm human. I am not in joy 100% of the time. That is not possible. Everything is cycles, and you cannot have day without night. You cannot have black without white. I mean, everything, we're in a dual world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am not in joy 100% of the time, but I know how to get back to my joy. So every once in a while, if something goes not really the way I want, I'll say, okay, I'll allow myself a little pity party for a couple of hours or, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know how to get back to my joy.
Right.
So I am really thrilled with that. And I love that I teach that. And it's wonderful to see the transformation in people.
Right. So it sounds like you're saying definitely honor the season that you're in. Honor the pain. Honor the sadness. Honor it, but just don't take up residency there. Just deal with it. Get your pity party on, then come out and appreciate joy. Find ways to really tap into your inner joy.
Absolutely. Don't linger in the crap, but honor your journey, because you're learning. We're constantly evolving, and so life teaches us tough stuff sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's tough, but we learn from it, and then it's like we're going up a spiral. So honor that journey.
Got it. Yes. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Olivia. We just truly appreciate you having to share with us about your journey and what the things that you have accomplished, and just hearing your story from where you came from and how you just took that chance and came back to the United States and finding that energy, being true to yourself and not letting external things come to you. That is just awesome. I love it. I love it. So
one thing, Carla, one thing that's important for people to understand and to honor is to be true to themselves before anything else. I mean, I could have stayed in Africa with that man. After all, life wasn't bad over there, right? I could have stayed there. And yet I realized that I had to be true to myself before anything else. So people, listeners, this is so important. Know who you are. Know what you're here for, because you're here for a reason. Each one of us is a little piece of the tapestry of life, and each one of us is super important to that tapestry. So know what you're here for, and then be it.
Be in it, fulfill it, taste it, touch it, embrace it. I love it. Well, thank you, Miss Olivia. And if you can tell us one more time how my listeners can get in contact with you.
Yes, so they can send me an email if they want, Olivia at joyandabundancebydesign.com. And of course, if they go to my website, again, they can download that free guidebook that will teach them the 5 secrets to creating more happiness and joy. So joyandabundancebydesign.com. And Carla, it was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for allowing me to be a little bit corny with you.
Oh, I love it. Hey, trust me, corny. If you don't have corny, somewhere a little corny in there, 9 times out of 10, we're not going to be able to get too close. It's a beautiful thing to be corny. I love it. Great. Okay, listeners. Well, thank you for chiming in. I want you to be sure to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Inner Beauty Moments. Continue to keep your head up. Embrace the joy that is within you. So with all that being said, be well, be blessed, and remember, beauty starts within. Bye-bye.
Bye.